It's a form of adolescent flirting in a digital age.
Sexting is sending nude pictures of yourself to someone.
So quick, so easy.
If you don't send me that picture, then I'm gonna break up with you, or then you don't love me.
And everyone seems to be doing it.
I've had friends that have experienced and have done sexting.
I have received text messages from random guys on Instagram.
I've never actually sexted myself, but I have received pictures that were provocative.
Oh God, I'm not sharing my experience. No.
8 months ago, a guy we were Snapchatting while getting ready for a dance asked us for nudes.
Most nudes and sexual texts start with someone that maybe is pressuring you into it.
But every racy image sent in the heat of a teenage moment, in the throes of sexual impulse, is just one share away from consequences that can be devastating. In the tight-knit community of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, everyone seems to at least know of everyone, here and in the string of towns that dot this coastline. The same goes for students, linked together by a common school district. These kids attend Blue Nose Academy. It's just a few kilometers away from another town where several local teenagers were arrested for sharing intimate images of girls from their school. Not surprisingly, the case in the school in Bridgewater sent shockwaves here.
I guess there's just so many components to it, and again, there's no blanket rule, I don't think, right now on how to deal with this.
Stephen McGill is the new principal here, and like many educators in Canada, is grappling with a problem that experts say is exploding across the country, and now here.
How much does the case, like the Bridgewater case, weigh on you as an educator?
Yeah, it's enormous. Not only because it's close to home, but it wouldn't matter where it is in the world. As educators, we want our students to be safe, and we want them to make good decisions.
A lot of these kids know the students involved in the Bridgewater case. The criminal case has dragged the entire practice of sexting out of the virtual shadows for all to see. But it doesn't make it any easier to talk about, especially at such a self-conscious age. So to help us get some real answers, we set up a video booth in an empty classroom.
Once you're done, press stop.
And we asked grade 9 students to share their experiences with sexting.
Test.
I think it's pretty good. I haven't had anyone ask me for nudes in a long time.
I have, but we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that, not today.
Mom, it's okay.
I don't know of any of it firsthand.
I kind of do, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
A whole nother day.
I was gonna say, like, so I've had friends.
I'll just say one of my friends' cousins.
Wing it!
What soon became clear is that sexting is something they've all thought about. Not a little bit, but a lot.
I mean, I think it's kind of silly to share pictures like that. In my opinion, it's almost kind of dumb to do it, really, because with the internet, it's so easy to have anything just spread rapidly.
There's nothing wrong with sending nudes to anyone else. Just make the right decisions.
How many kids ask for sexts? How many kids actually send them? It's hard to really know what goes on in this teenage cyber world. But studies show that Canadian students as young as 9 years old have sent sexually explicit images of themselves. And half of older high school students across the country have sent or received a sext. And what most of these kids don't know is how quickly an image sent on impulse can become a crime. Since 2009, dozens of Canadian teens, some as young as 13, have found themselves facing child pornography charges for sharing sexts without consent.
Start recording. Oh, I have to sit down. I think that this happens quite a lot in relationships or in when two people are talking and flirting with each other.
The other person will send that picture to their friends, and then their friends will make it go viral because they'll post it on Instagram or all that social media or Snapchat, and then Snapchat ends up going all over online.
I think what it all comes down to is how well you trust the person you're sending them to.
If you are one of the victims who sent out pictures and then it went viral, then people will just look at you, and then you'll be really depressed, or not depressed, or sad a lot, because people do not respect you because of what you did.
In the Bridgewater case, sexually explicit images of more than 20 teenage girls were allegedly shared in a Dropbox account without the girls' consent. 6 local teenage boys were arrested. Until recently, child pornography were the main charges laid, but a new cyberbullying law following the tragic suicides of Rhea Parsons and Amanda Todd, who were both assaulted and exploited online, is now in effect. The new law makes it a criminal offense to share intimate images of anyone without consent. The Bridgewater case is in the spotlight because it's the first time teenagers have been charged under the new law.
Who's the master right now? All right, we're watching. We're watching.
The focus of the new law targets the core of every sexting crime, the lack of consent to share images. McGill says that's the hard lesson he wants the Bridgewater case to drive home.
When you trust the person that you're sending images to, or what have you, that's one thing. And I think they understand that part of it. And I think they're hopefully starting to understand, if they haven't already, especially around this area, that as soon as you share those pictures or those images and videos with somebody that it wasn't supposed to be meant for, then that's criminal.
Ow, my wrist just cracked. We need high fives for good luck.
Okay guys, high fives everybody.
Thanks, Mom. Morgan!
Okay, you all set?
Yes. I think we're ready.
How old are you guys? All 14?
Yeah.
Do you know that? I mean, some statistics show that this is happening as early as age 9.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah?
That's the age that I know the both of us. That is the age that we found out about this this type of thing was happening.
Oh, when you were 9.
That's approximately grade 5. It would be.
The fact that sexting can be a crime seems to be sinking in here, especially among young girls.
But how did it make you feel when you heard about the fact that these images had been shared without the consent of the young women who had sent them?
It made me feel terrible for the girls.
Yeah.
And it's just a terrible thing to happen, even if they knew the consequences, they knew it might happen, but they were never expecting it in the first place.
They were your age or younger, right? What do you think? What do you think they were thinking?
I don't think they were thinking at that time.
There wasn't much thinking involved in
Heat
that.
of the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would drive a young boy, to ask for those kind of images?
Hormones, maybe. Puberty.
And is it kind of normal to do that?
This day and age.
You think so?
Growing up with technology. Kind of go to that.
I think they think it's okay.
Yeah.
And then the girls, they just kind of follow along and are like, oh, maybe this is what we're doing now.
Just to impress them, just to fit in.
Me being someone who's not a popular person, seeing the popular people doing that kind of thing, it makes you think, is that why they're so popular? Is that what makes people like them so much?
The adolescent impulse to please, the angst and regret that often follows, is what makes sexting crimes so nuanced. Many don't result in charges because police and prosecutors say they would be overwhelmed by the sheer volume of cases. What's more critical, child rights advocates say, is education. Signe Arneson runs the Canadian Centre for Child Protection in Winnipeg.
I don't think enough of them are sitting back contemplating, if I share this, oh, what if we break up? If I share this, I've in fact lost complete control over what ends up happening with it.
Cybertip.ca, a tip line for child exploitation cases, runs out of here. When the tip line became flooded with calls about sexting, the centre created this website. Need Help Now is the only one of its kind in Canada and helps kids stop the spread of sexual images. The site guides teenagers on who to talk to and even how to approach a service provider to remove photos or videos from the internet. The site averages 6,000 new users every month.
A naked picture of me was taken and shared with everyone without my permission.
Like the website's new video suggests, it's all about changing the story before it's too late.
I just want my life back. And me, I just want my best friend Rehtaeh back.
Rehtaeh Parsons' story is an extreme, but Arneson says that sense of desperation is not uncommon.
We've had at least a dozen kids coming in saying, if this doesn't stop, I'm contemplating ending my life. So we know it's a very serious issue. The problem was, we armed these kids with incredibly powerful devices, one that when you're looking at growing up and all the milestones that come with growing up, it's almost a recipe for disaster. So we're kind of playing catch up in and around how do we begin to manage and teach kids, especially when they start to enter into intimate relationships.
Just looking around the room.
That piece is quickly becoming part of school curriculums across the country.
We talked a little bit about being a digitin.
At Blue Nose Academy, where the groundwork is laid as early as grade 4, today's lesson begins with what not to share online.
Phone number, Ava? Phone number is a personal piece of information.
And reminders of how permanent a digital imprint can be.
So if I were to squeeze some toothpaste into this cup.
Teachers use a tube of toothpaste to illustrate how once an image is sent online, it's very hard to get it back.
I could try my hardest to put that back in there, but it's not going to happen, is it?
Miguel's already dealt with one sexting case at his previous school. He says it's all about avoiding another.
It's very tricky and it's very serious, and it's devastating on both sides, the victim and a lot of times it's the other youth that are involved that have been the ones that have been responsible for sharing. It's a daunting job for schools, community, everybody involved to try to ensure that everybody's safe and when they go online and anywhere else.
It's people's decisions. If they do it, then that's their problem, and it's their idea, and that's just social media these days.
Oh, hold on, scratch that.
You really have to be super safe about that kind of stuff. And if you share those kind of pictures, I mean, I'm sure you have your reason, but in my opinion, you should probably stop doing that kind of thing.
So, okay, I can do this. The other person on the other side, you may think they're the most trustworthy person ever, but they may not. You have to know them really, really well.
You have to take your time and evaluate the situation and make sure you're doing what is right for your future.
Definitely. Yeah, we're done. Okay.
There's hope that kind of awareness will keep building, and that more kids will have second thoughts before they hit send and end up sharing more than they ever intended. Joanna Rumeliotis, CBC News, Lunenburg, Nova Scotia.